All right, good morning, you guys. It's time for your health check. I want to keep you posted on COVID-19. Yes, that is still a thing. Here are the latest numbers out of the state of Texas. A state reporting 64,880 people have tested positive so far for this virus. This morning, more than 20,000 of those people have tested positive right here in North Texas. Here's a breakdown from county officials for you. In Dallas County, the numbers are about, 228 more positive cases reported yesterday. So the number total there, about 10,000. Again, that's in Dallas County. Tarrant County says over 5,500 people have tested positive there. The numbers in both Collin and Denton counties, roughly around 1,300 cases. We're also learning more about the effects of COVID-19 for people with high blood pressure specifically. Studies in the Journal of the American Medical Association, the Lancet, and the CDC find that people with high blood pressure may be more likely to become hospitalized with the virus. One study showing 63% of COVID-19 patients in the ICU had baseline hypertension, 63%. Researchers also say they're not sure why this is happening, but they suspect that the subtle organ damage caused by high blood pressure may be giving patients a disadvantage to fight this virus. And more of Texas reopened yesterday. You guys heard it here on WFAA. School districts are allowed to begin summer school as long as there's social distancing. The Dallas Arboretum and Fort Worth Botanic Gardens have reopened as well. And just like the zoos, you got to buy your tickets online, reserve the time that you want to visit, of course. But just as some areas that we're seeing, these signs of recovery where coronavirus is concerned, we also have these protests that have erupted across the country. Now, health officials are warning that these mass gatherings may actually exacerbate an outbreak, especially for some of the most vulnerable communities.
As the country reels from not just a pandemic, but protests as well, officials worry that one crisis could make the other worse. Let's connect the dots. According to reports, there have been protests against police in at least 75 cities across the U.S. There have been protests in European cities in the wake of George Floyd's death. And officials are worried these mass gatherings could increase the spread of COVID-19. Just as many areas were seeing signs that it was slowing. And there's another factor causing concern. Atlanta's mayor pointing out coronavirus appears to take a larger toll on communities of color. According to the New York Times, death rates for African Americans are double those of whites during this pandemic. This concern has led to calls from infectious disease experts for protesters to wear masks and practice social distancing. Advice that's hard to take as large crowds march through the streets. All this has led some experts, like the former head of the Food and Drug Administration, to predict a new wave of coronavirus infections. Scientists urging demonstrators to get tested, but that could be a problem. Some large cities like Los Angeles have shut down testing sites because of the protests.